Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 11 of Dropped Frames. My name is JP McDaniel, joined by the usual two partners in crime, Ko and Zeke. And our guest today is none other than Bacon Donut, the first guest to show up twice on the show. Congratulations, Bacon.
Yes.
You've also got your green screen, so you're looking good. We've got some uniform finally on this show. It took like 8 more episodes after you were on last time, but you brought it back. Glad to have you here, man. How you doing?
I am great, man. I'm so excited. Man, Drop Frames is just really taken off. So congrats on the popularity of it. I have
we
heard
had absolutely
so
nothing to
many.
do with last week's episode, so.
That was my favorite. I was telling everybody that last week's episode was my favorite, and that includes the one that I was on. I loved it.
It was good. It was good. I enjoyed last week's episode as well, and I just sat there and listened. I didn't have to do much. It was good.
You should have seen it in Memphis when we had 15 casters outside of a barbecue joint with 2 phones, one set up to watch the video, one set up to watch the chat. Just kind of with lighters underneath them to tilt them up and stuff like that. We're just sitting there all around this picnic table outside this barbecue joint, just glued to it, just like, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? And they're like, the bus is here. They're like, shut up! Watching this.
It was indeed a good episode. But let's not start off too circle jerky, guys. We still got 2 hours left of the show. We could circle jerk around Bloodborne in just a bit. Want to catch up with Ko and Zeke. Ko, how you been, bro?
Been good, man. Been good getting over this PAX
God,
still.
it's still in your voice. It's still in your
Almost
voice.
there.
Have you been? Did you go to the doctor? Do you take care of yourself, or you just?
No, not at all. No, sir.
I'm just barely over it. I missed at least 3 days last week because of being sick.
Yeah, I'm almost out of it though. It's almost gone, which is good because there's a lot of games to play now. I need as much time as I can.
There is. We got to get. Zeke, do you get sick at event like PAX and stuff like that?
I have not gotten sick.
I haven't either.
Get sick once a year.
Yeah, same here.
And it's never from PAX. It's always just from my body going, it's about time.
It's about time. Yeah, you've skirted past it all.
Exactly.
I think it's because we drink enough alcohol on the side that we just get all of the toxins out of our body by killing it with whiskey.
Yeah, I was going to say that JP just wasn't being friendly enough, but you can't say that about Zeke. He's climbing on top of everybody.
True. That's true. I don't shake anyone's hands. I'm all about the fist bump. Yeah.
I give everyone hugs.
Well, I mean, that explains your current situation. That's your fault.
I think it's because my body's, I think it just expanding on that. My body's already so polluted with, cigarettes and alcohol and drugs and stuff. It's just the cold is walked into a bad neighborhood. It's like, I don't want any of this.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, well, let's talk about what we've been playing, because I think we all have been playing a lot, especially of Bloodborne, but we'll change it up a little bit. Bacon, what's been going on over in your channel?
Well, obviously Minecraft. I am primarily a Minecraft streamer, but in terms of other games, I got in on City Skylines. I got early access to that and casted it, I don't know, 3 or 4 times, which for me is huge. 4 casts of non-Minecraft, that's a big deal. So yeah, so I had a lot of fun. I think the hype's kind of died down on it now, and a lot of people ended up with trouble with performance in the late game. That stopped a lot of casters from doing more with it because their cities got too big and then they couldn't play it anymore. But I really liked it.
What pop did you get up to population wise?
Not huge. I want to say 50 or 60K.
Okay.
So my problem, I got to the point where traffic screwed me over, and
Yep.
I didn't play it enough to get enough practice with dealing with that. So that's kind of where I left it.
Yeah, there's a weird thing with that game, and I always just claimed it was bugs, but that's because I was salty. But as you get towards the end of the game, traffic just becomes unmanageable.
Yeah.
On a lot of levels. It's so hard to manage towards the end of it. Ko, I think you played a lot of it, right? Did you ever break the code of traffic in that game?
Well, it got to the point where it was really causing a problem with me because I was having to plan my traffic, all of my roads around specific behavior that was very odd from the cars.
Right.
Things like changing lanes. A lot of these cars had no problems coming to a dead stop in the middle of the highway to change a lane for something that they needed like 10 miles down the road, and there was plenty of open area to merge into. And also putting on-ramps and off-ramps on alternating sides would also cause these really weird backups. Like, it got to the point where the entire roadway of my cities were these spaghetti. Oh, Lord. Thank you, Razov. These spaghetti-style just connections all swirling around each other. And it worked, and it was kind of fun doing it, but just totally unrealistic.
How? I don't understand this. Like, hearing you talk about it is like hearing, like, people's dreams. It's like, how is this fun?
It was a really good time.
I actually really enjoyed my time with this, much like I did with SimCity, even though that game was plagued with issues from the start. I don't know why these games are fun, and I'm even more interested in why these games are fun to watch. Like, there was a period in time when this game came out where it was, like, huge on Twitch. You could go live. I could go live, averaging, like, maybe 2,000 viewers on any game, and this game was getting, like, 4.5, 5K at some times of the day. And I don't understand it. Like, what is it about watching people build a city that's fun? Like, I still don't understand that to this day.
I have to say, though, that when I was really into cities, especially at the beginning, when I was still learning how everything worked and the behavior patterns of the drivers and things, I found myself in other streams a lot. I would just go between streamers and seeing who's doing what's working, what's not working. Spent a lot of time in, like, Sevidus's stream and Giant Waffle when he was playing. Just seeing how they did it. And I think that was a big draw of it because it was very popular. A lot of people were playing it.
Yeah. The other thing that pissed me off in Bacon, I think you were just experiencing on this clip that we showed, the squares on a lot of the maps were not, like, you couldn't create a straight road with the tool. It would eventually it would go down, like, maybe a single degree, and if you kept going with the line, it wasn't straight. And the OCD in me just drove me crazy.
It took me a while to figure out that it would derp like that in relation to the vertical terrain, like on hills and stuff. Yeah. But it wouldn't be because you can't build the road the way you wanted to build it. It would be just because of the terrain. But if you broke it into a smaller piece, it would let you put the road exactly where you wanted to in the first place. And it just was like, what the crap, game?
That was so wonky. I ran into that problem so many times. And then the curving highway stuff, like the way that it would force you to curve it, and some of the on-ramp curves. I mean,
they looked really ridiculous. They looked really ridiculous.
On the topic of traffic with this game,
yes,
I want to give a shout out to my boy Sevidus. He did a challenge where he built a city using nothing but dirt roads or gravel roads or whatever they're called.
Right.
So, like, that was his personal rule. Everything had to be dirt roads, and I was actually shocked at how well it turned out. His traffic was better than any city that I ever had.
My roommate did that. He did, what's it called? Like the pathways for people to walk. So he did that above all of the streets in the main city. And that actually helped with traffic a lot, too. Like there's some really, not obscure, just stuff that you typically wouldn't think about when it came to solving that game. My favorite thing that I did with that game, though, was create a natural disaster because they don't exist. I drowned non-sub chat. The village multiple times. I sucked enough water out of this one area with 2 dams on the side that I built into the like, I guess where the water once was, this giant lake, and then I just removed the dam and watched it flood. And it wasn't that epic, but they need to put some natural disasters into that
slaughtering hordes of non-subs. That is the epitome of king shit, JP.
Yeah. No, I'll find a way.
You could not have. That's perfect.
I will find a way to kill people in any game that I play.
I tell you, man, that was the first thing.
I want to get closer. I want to hear their screams.
I showed this game to my kids, and that was the first thing that they said. Like, "Oh, it's like SimCity, right?" I'm like, "Yeah," and they're like, "Can we do natural disasters?" I'm like, "No," and they're like, "Oh, never mind."
It is a little bit of a. I enjoyed when, like, a random volcano would pop up in your city and you were streaming. Like, it created a sense of urgency, of panic, and that was fun to watch on streams. But yeah, Skylines is a great game. Zeke, did you ever? I thought you tried it for like a cast.
Nope, I have not picked it up yet. I don't think I even own it.
Okay.
No
intention.
Would it be good for me? Because it seems like it's not action enough for me. Like I can understand how Co and Bacon can do it.
Yeah. I don't
understand how you could do it, which is strange.
I don't know. I enjoy this type of games every once in a while.
The thing that killed me was the backseat gaming when it wasn't released yet.
That game is really
like I'm streaming, like nobody has this game, right? Like there's what, I don't know, 10, 12 people on Twitch that can play it, and the chat is all like, do this, do that. And I'm like, that feature doesn't even exist, and you're like,
dude, the word, like I would love to see a word cloud for last week or the week that it was out, maybe that's 2 weeks ago, for the word roundabout. Because that word was used so much in my chat that I actually banned it in like the filtered words. so like roundabout and then round and about were both banned. Round about was banned. Like I was just tired of hearing it. It got, and they were really offensive too. Like they were super aggressive about the backseat gaming, which was interesting.
On a Sims game?
On a Sims game, yeah. People get offended.
It was amazing how many people
became shaped like a wiener.
Yeah.
Trust me, that happened all over the place. Yeah. But it was amazing how many people became professional city planners that have been doing it for 20 years of their life and just had the perfect advice that had to be told. Yeah. Like, it was amazing. Debates would start in chat over road situations, and they get in real arguments. Like, at one point, we had to time people out because they were, like, so fervently arguing their side. No, you alternate the on-ramps. If you don't do that, the traffic backs up. Just look at it.
Yep.
They got so into it. It was amazing.
It was annoying, but looking back, it was entertaining now, just how crazy people backseated that game. Bacon, what I see in one of your VODs that you were playing Diablo II?
I was, yeah.
What's going on with this?
It was a one night thing. It was one of those nights.
Oh my God, the nostalgia.
I just got an itch. It came out of one night I was on a late night call with Whitwix and Elohim when Whitwix was playing D3, and I'm watching them play D3. And D3, I played through Diablo 3, but for me, it doesn't have replay value. Like, I don't feel an urge to keep going back to it.
Yeah.
But watching them play, I'm like, dude, I want to pick up D2 again. And so just on a random spur of the moment, I downloaded it because you can get it digitally through Blizzard.
Yep.
And I installed it. It installed fine. There's a little bit of an issue with resolution because it's not 16:9, but so it's a little stretched on my screen, but it was good enough. It was close enough to cast, and I just freaking loved it. So I don't know when yet, but I am so going to do a dual stream with somebody. We're going to get some casters together and do a night of D2. Like, this has to happen.
It's good fun, man. I remember I think everyone has, I remember stories with Diablo 2. Like doing bail runs, doing just everything. You're going to Den of the Evil right now, and I'm just like, I got to turn it off because I'll download the game later and I'll start playing.
I know, right?
Why are you playing Druid, though? They're like the worst class.
Oh, that was chat.
Chat decided?
We took a vote.
That's typical.
And it was funny. I didn't. As soon as the cast was over last night, I rolled up a barbarian and kept playing.
Yep. Barbarian. It's good. It's good. I'm a fan of the Sork. Maybe some guided arrow, Amazon, something like that. It's good.
And for anyone that doesn't know, there's a lot of mods out for this game, like because the file format got completely dissected, and people have added new acts, new classes.
There's an entire game that
they
redid, like they reworked all of Diablo and made a brand new game basically.
And I haven't played any of that, so I'm looking forward to at some point. It's on my to-do list to go through and try some of that stuff.
Cool. Yeah, I'm actually kind of upset that I watched you play Diablo 2 for 5 minutes now, because I want to play it and I just can't. What's going on in the world of Minecraft before we talk about Bloodborne a little bit?
Well, I mentioned last time I was on the show, I had just launched my mod pack Sky Factory, and that's heavily modded Minecraft, and the whole concept is you start with nothing. It's like an empty world that's complete nothingness, and you're on a tree and a single piece of dirt, and that's it. And then you use the mods to start creating things. I just released an update, so that's what's been taking up my time lately. Is Sky Factory 2.3 just released yesterday,
nice.
And added some new games or new mods to kind of flesh out the later phases of the game. And this update's all about dragons. So like you can hatch and train and ride and fly dragons and a lot of cool stuff. So
as someone who has no idea what's going on in Minecraft because I've never actually played it before, are you actually like writing the physical code for this mod, or how are you? What is the process of modding this mod?
Somebody does,
Okay,
not me though.
okay.
I don't code Minecraft mods myself.
Gotcha.
I'm like, if you were to make an analogy to the game production industry, I would be like a producer.
Okay.
So there's developers making the mods, and then I'm kind of putting all the pieces together and coordinating between the different groups of people to make it all happen. So I take the mods that other people make and put it together and flesh out the conflicts between them, because often the mods are made by different people who don't necessarily do it with the intention of it working nicely with somebody else's mod.
Right.
So I kind of play that role, and I have help too. Like if you watch my VOD from the launch, there's a bunch of other people involved that did a lot of awesome work on it too.
Interesting. I need to still jump. We need to do that Minecraft thing that we talked about. It's been like 2 months since we spoke about that.
Yeah, no, totally. This needs to happen.
I know. I want to do.
We talked about it at PAX too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've had other casters too. I can't spoil plans, but there have been several other notable casters that we all know about that have come to me and be like, bro, we should do some Minecraft sometime. And so like, I want to get this going for sure.
Nice. Well, cool. I just realized that it's been 2 weeks since we've been on, so we actually have a good chunk of games or game time to talk about. Zeke, I want to go to you, talk a little bit about Ori. I don't know. Ko, did you play Ori? Ori and the Blind Forest? Okay.
I did play Ori.
Cool. Zeke, what'd you think? I watched you play a little bit of it.
Honestly, like visually, I saw it. I saw the screenshots and a little bit of gameplay, and I didn't think it was for me. You know, because it's like it's gonna be like cutesy Japanesey kind of like blah.
Yeah.
I played it all the way through, and I fucking loved it.
It's a fantastic game.
Great game. I mean, the control is great. The exploration, Metroidvania style, whatever you want to call it, that's great. The atmosphere is great. How the game feels like as far as like the combination of music and scenery and stuff like that. It's really, really good. You feel like you're a part of this world or whatever. And I mean, I couldn't recommend it more. And it's only $20, man. That's
kind of the crazy thing too. The other crazy thing too is that this was made. It was like a global project, right? So like there was no actual studio. This was made by people in offices around the world. They were never in the same room with one another.
I did not know that.
Which is kind of crazy when you look at this game, because it looks probably for me it's like one of the best looking games so far this year, without a doubt.
It totally is, and it's what was I gonna say? It's so well put together, and there's challenging parts too.
Right.
There's some. I mean, it's not too challenging because I can do it.
Right.
But
I saw you get pretty raged at the water rushing part.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. There's the water rushing part. That was probably the part that
was pretty fun to watch. I'm glad.
Frustrating part of the game, but once you clear it, it's difficult, but it's not too difficult, which I think is a difficult or a difficult line to
I was going to ask about the difficulty. Like, on a scale of like Mario to Bashi, where does it fit?
It's a little bit less than like Meat Boy.
Yeah.
Like if Meat Boy's a 7 and Bashi is a 10, this game's a 6.
Yeah. There you go.
All right, there you go. That's good.
Maybe even a 5. Yeah. But yeah, the way it ramps up and the gameplay kind of like changes as it progresses forward for the better. There's more movement, more different type of things that you unlock. The only thing I hated about this game is the first 10 minutes are like the saddest shit I've ever played. Like I open the game and I'm like expecting it to be all gleeful and shit, and then I'm just like, oh my god.
You do that double breathing like.
Exactly.
I was on at least 3 different streams for that moment. Well, I'm not going to spoil it, but death happens, and the caster just like loses it. Oh,
Yeah.
it's so awful.
Yeah. Once you get past that, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah. No,
The worst part is how deceptive the game is, because everything you see about it is just cheery and upbeat, and it's a little bouncing, Disney style. And then all of a sudden you play it. I was not prepared.
Yeah.
I was not ready.
It caught me off guard too, man. It caught me off guard. I forgot what I was playing. Maybe I was playing. Oh yeah, that's right. I came right from Cities after being backseated so much that I had to quit the game because I was getting too upset. I came straight to this, and the mood chain was just like a 180, complete. Co, you enjoyed it, I assume.
I did. I didn't beat it. I've only played it for about the first, I think, a couple hours.
Okay. It's not
but it
that
is
long,
a game I
so-
plan on finishing, and it is a lot of fun. I was really impressed by the gameplay. It was good.
Yeah, it's a good game. The other game that I want to talk about before we get to Bloodborne, actually, I guess, well, actually, Hotline Miami. I didn't touch it yet. Zeke, you beat it. Co, did you beat
yeah.
it?
I haven't played it yet.
I haven't touched it at all.
Yeah.
Zeke,
I've had two other games I've been with.
Yeah. Zeke, I've been seeing a lot of people kind of. Maybe I'm just looking at all the negativity because that's the first thing I see when I look at stuff. But a lot of people are not that much of a fan of this compared to the first one. What are your thoughts on it?
I would say it's a continuation of the first one, but there are definitely some negative aspects that the first one had, and the second one doesn't. The first one, you were like, there's a protagonist throughout the entire thing. Well,
Yeah,
it could be argued.
sure.
But this one, I mean, you were. I didn't like the fact that you were forced to do certain things, like or take certain items and that kind of thing. I did not like that aspect at all. I liked the malleability of the first one, where you could choose like your perks and stuff, and there was options to get, like, sometimes you can't pick up stuff, sometimes you can, like that kind of thing. I will say, I mean, obviously everyone is talking about the music. The music in this one,
God,
is
it's so good.
as good, if not better, than the first one.
And there's a lot. There's a lot of songs.
49 tracks, man.
Yeah.
It is crazy amount of music, and it is almost all of it is just brilliant EDM mood, awesome music. The gameplay is the same. I mean, you walk around. It's the same. Target, don't target. Shoot, whatever.
Right.
The story, though, I was hoping for. It's a little bit more meandery and not as streamlined as the first one. The first one was like kind of a journey into madness, and this one is kind of like a little all over the place for me. It's more like a real story rather than like a what could he mean? What could that what could be happening? Like that kind of stuff. This is like, oh, you're here doing this. Okay. But honestly, it's still a great game for anyone who likes the first one. I would definitely, I played all the way through it and I had a blast. But if I were the replay value is definitely with the first one.
For someone that has only played the first one, but not to completion, should I finish the first one before moving to the second one, or does it not matter?
Why haven't you beat the first one? It doesn't take that long.
I started it. I never actually played it on stream. I played on a Vita on a flight.
Okay, yeah. Finish the first one. It doesn't take long.
Okay, maybe I'll just replay it. I don't know. We'll play it on Steam.
Do we know if the soundtrack is for sale?
Someone said you get it when you buy the game.
Yeah,
Is
you
that
have to
really?
get it through Steam.
Yep.
Cool. For me, worth buying just for the soundtrack.
Yeah, I bought it
remember
on
the first
Steam.
time I saw somebody casting this, I assumed that they were playing their own music, while
yeah.
playing the game. And then when I found out it was the game soundtrack, I was like, oh my gosh, I want this.
Yeah, so you guys got into another game last week. I got back into Final Fantasy XIV for some stupid reason. I don't know why I'm playing it. I'm still playing it. I've probably put like 60 hours into it in the past 2 weeks. But anyways, I would just leave Zeke stream on and listen to the music and him rage while I was playing because it was perfect. It was perfect. I enjoyed it. The game that I was speaking about or alluding to that you guys have been playing, at least last week, I don't know if you've been playing it, Bacon, but a lot of people on Twitch have, and that is this fucking bizarre game called Reign of Kings that I watched Zeke play. I haven't watched Co play, but
God,
Zeke,
dude.
I was watching you play with Chief the other day, and he would just rope you, then drag you along.
Oh my god, dude, that was.
I didn't understand what was going on.
Oh my god, it was such a blast. Playing it, it's basically, for anyone who doesn't know, it's Daisy H1Z1 kind of survival medieval times, and you start naked on the beach with a club, and you gather stuff and you build buildings and you make weapons and that kind of stuff. But the fun part comes from interacting with other people, especially if you meet up with some characters like I did. It is Reign of Kings is chock full of glitches. It is that's kind of what I gathered. Broken with glitches, and like their game mechanics that are just ridiculous. The rope mechanic is so stupid. You get okay. Now listen, there's a thing. You make a rope. It's just a rope. You make a rope. And you sneak up behind anybody and you rope them, and if they don't have a certain thing, there is dick they can do about it. They can drag you around for hours. Your only recourse is to type /suicide. That is your only, and even if you log out, you come back in and you're still trapped. Because I logged out, I was like, this guy's not going to let me go. And it was Chief, who I didn't know before, who is
He's hilarious.
He's
hilarious.
But he was dragging me around. He was like, nah, I'm going to drag you around. Now, don't panic. I'm going to bring you over here. And I was like, he's just dragging me this ragdoll around.
Yeah, the models just look absolutely stupid. Like, you had the biggest ass I've ever seen in a video game.
No, that was me. Because I was like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The first character I made
I wish I could find the VOD of you playing
was
it.
all upper body. Like, he was like an 8, but he had like skinny, short, stumpy legs. And he looked like, he looked like a cartoon knight because he was like this huge upper body, skipped leg day. And then I did the exact opposite. I tried to do everything opposite with my alternate character. And I made everything on the bottom half huge and everything on the top half like T-Rex, like all that kind of stuff. It's very funny to do that. I had a lot of laughs doing that. But I got roped, logged out. I logged back in. I'm still roped. He's like, nah, you can't do that. He's just, you can trap people, put them in. It's just, it was a blast, but there's so much shit they need to fix.
I think a lot of people expected me to play Reign of Kings because, it's sandboxy. There's so much crafting stuff. There's the obvious parallels to the Minecraft world.
Yeah.
But I think what Zeke was just expressing is the main reason that I didn't, because to me, it reminds me of problems that Minecraft solved like 3 years ago. And it feels like stepping back to the early alpha stages where no one knew what was going on and, griefing and hacking and glitches and all that stuff. I mean, obviously that stuff always exists in every game, but the early access is really evident in this title, and I'm just kind of spoiled on Minecraft being a more mature in the sense of being out longer and fixed that stuff. It's
not a full release yet.
So to me, it's too painful. When I hear casters complaining about issues like that, I'm like, no, I can't go back. I can't do that again.
I didn't watch anyone play it for like 2 or 3 days. And now I'm watching you play it. And I'm just like, this looks like the perfect amount of chaos that I would absolutely enjoy for just like maybe 5 or 6 hours. And then I'd hate it after that.
Well, it benefits you being a streamer because
crazy shit happens to you.
It starts by benefiting you.
Right.
Because everybody's like, let's work. It's just same with H1Z1. It's like, everybody work together. We're going to build this whole thing. And then it just dissolves just like society.
I was watching, one of the streams I was watching was Strippin', who was, I guess you've probably seen him from the internets, maybe is the best way to say that. And he's actually, he's been playing on a Altus server, and it's like super, super heavy into the role playing. So him and these 3 other guys are like a part of the same family. And they run a slave trading business. They just have these people in like these giant hanging cages. And they just put people in these cages and people would walk by and be like, I'd like that one. And then they would like sit there and barter. And these are real people that are in the cages. So they'd sit there and just like poke them with sticks. Slaves. Yeah, they'd like poke them with sticks and like shoot them with arrows and stuff as they're in there. And they're all talking in British accents and they're just like slave trading in this game. Oh my gosh. And it was some of the funniest shit I've ever seen.
I actually ended up rage quitting that game.
Really?
I planned to play it for an entire afternoon. I actually own a server. I own 2 servers, actually, Reign of Kings. And the last time that I was playing it, I was fully decked out, and I was out in the field, and I was doing my thing, and I came up and started fighting with the guy. The combat, man. Oh my God, the combat. It is seriously like too quadriplegics blindfolded. Just, I mean, I don't. You can't do anything. You can't do anything. Seriously, it's so bad. You can swing at air, and then if a few seconds later someone happens to wander into it, they just like their head just flies off. You know, it's absolutely insane. And you know, it got to the point where I realized that no matter how good the game was, and don't get me wrong, the building in the game is amazing. Like I had so much fun. I played it for hours and hours, just doing the building aspect and, you know, putting these different gatehouses together, and it was fantastic. But when it got to the actual core mechanics of the game, they're so far off base that I can't go back until a major overhaul of that system. So if it had the chivalry level combat system in that world, I would probably still be playing that game.
What is like the goal? Like, is the goal of the game to be the quote unquote king, or is it to build, or like is it multifaceted? What is the end game?
Life. It's role playing. It's like Altus Life. It's designed. It's because I mean the king can set 0 taxes, so it's not like they would always benefit.
It's so huge. This game's just a crazy game to watch.
It's ridiculous, but it all depends on what kind of server you're on. Some servers are designed to where getting the king is like everyone's for themselves. They're all trying to get the king. Others are straight up RP servers where everyone has their own little hovel. So I even jumped on one server once, and it was so moderated that people were like giving goods to get parcels of land to build on, and there were groups going around and killing everyone that weren't building in licensed areas. So I guess
that's what was going on Strippin's land.
I guess someone had a map and was like writing names and stuff down, but the whole server was in it, and it was actually a pretty incredible kind of little microcosm.
So
but
that's what
it's an interesting game.
Strippin would go, and so like there was different, I guess, families or fealties or whatever that people were sworn to, like they would get indoctrinated or whatever into this crap, and he would go and they would find someone and then put them in the cage and ask them who they serve, and then they would contact whoever lord they were serving and ask them for like ransom money or ransom goods. And like that was a huge thing that he was doing. So I think it's really cool when that type of stuff can happen just organically in a game. But from what you guys are saying about the combat, it seems a little bit lackluster, and I guess you'll have to revisit it. Hopefully, are the devs actively changing stuff? What is kind of the dev stance on everything?
Well, it's kind of a weird situation because they are patching the game and they are making updates. But the big thing is this particular developer has this interesting history where their last early access project, after working on it for years, they actually they permanently released as an alpha. So they took money for this product, tried to develop it for 2 years, never were able to deliver on what the product was going to be, and just said, sorry, we're done, and went and developed Reign of Kings. Now, they have a big post up on Reddit kind of explaining, hey, we're really sorry. We did the best we could. We spent years trying to optimize this. We just couldn't do it. We were throwing resources at a wall. We weren't getting anything back. We had to move forward. They have like this big thing up, and you can see by the comments, people aren't really buying a lot of it.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are kind of worried Reign of Kings may take the same path, especially with really just how far off base some of the features are. Again, some of it's great and works really well, but some of the core components, some of the core pillars are just not fully functioning to any degree, and in fact, almost unusable.
Interesting. I'm just watching you get destroyed. I don't even know what's going on. I can tell you're frustrated, though. For someone who's always cheery, and you're just kind of like moving your tongue around your cheeks and just like not saying much when you die. So
I had some dark times in that game. We went to some dark places in Reign of Kings. Yes, we did.
This is
and of course, no moderation of any kind.
Sure.
It's
a little bit of a tangent, but is this the type of game where you think that it was a huge game on Twitch last week? A bunch of people are streaming it. Huge streamers, small streamers. Yes. There was a ton of people streaming it. Do you think it's the type of game where communities were not misled, but they bought into it after seeing a streamer have so much fun in it, and now that maybe everyone's playing Bloodborne or whatnot, the community is going to kind of turn into something that won't be enjoyable by the masses? What do you guys think about that?
Well, here's the thing. It's the kind of issue where is bad publicity publicity at all.
Sure.
So in the situation with me, I mean, people were seeing me wrestle with the combat. They were seeing the good parts when I was building and stuff, and that was good, and that was the good parts of the game. But they saw me suffering. They saw me getting frustrated. I probably spent talking about how bad the combat system was and how much it needed help. In fact, at one point towards the end, in like the last 5 hours I was streaming it, people would ask me if I recommended it, and I would say no. I would say I do not recommend this product. It needs too much work. I don't know how much longer I will be playing it. Like, I do not recommend buying this product.
Seeing
I was
it,
playing it, granted, but yeah.
seeing it is a lot different than hearing it. Because if someone tells me it's bad, I'd be like, I should check it out. I really, I don't believe you all the way, but watching it, definitely, I would. Like if someone had told me about Hatoful Boyfriend, I would be like, I got to play that now. And then if I would have seen it, I would have said, I will never play that.
Sure.
I
I'm
wish
trying
I
to
would've watched it.
I'm loading up Steam on the other PC just to see where it's at on the sales list. But I think Pillars of Eternity is actually taking top spot right now, which we played a little bit
Oh
of.
man.
But I definitely want to check out the game some, just because of the absurdity that I've seen on stream. But I feel like I am just going to get frustrated with it. Pillars of Eternity, I guess that's a good segue. I know me and Co played it. Bacon, did you play it?
Which one?
Pillars of Eternity. Are you just interested in playing it?
Oh, I think I'm gonna. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence.
Yeah.
I'm kind of on the fence. I'm gonna kind of wait. I want to see some other people cast it and kind of go from there.
Co, my opinion of playing it for 4 hours on stream. Cool game. Seems really good. Seems like it's got everything that a Baldur's Gate fan wants. Absolutely worthless for streaming. Not a good game to stream, from my point of view. What do you think? And I'll go into that as why, but I think maybe you share the same feelings.
I do. And it comes down, I can think of two really good reasons why it's a horrible game to stream. One, you're locked into the content, so it's not giving the streamers a lot of freedom to really do what they want to do or express themselves, because literally huge portion of your stream is going to be reading text to them that is necessary to convey the game to them. Right. And B, not only when you're reading all this stuff, you're not interacting with your cast, but it's just you reading. That's it. And this is something that they can do themselves. So only the people that are actually invested in what's going on, the people that have either been there for most of it, or the people that are, able to take a huge amount of details and very quickly to have it become somewhat meaningful for them, are really going to get anything out of those streams.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a story. The whole thing's a
huge
story.
game.
Basically a book. It's basically a book. And, with a little bit of combat here and there.
The funny thing about it is, like, in the email that I think both me and Co received for the press code that we got, like, for this, the embargo was that we could not stream anything past the first 15 hours of the game. Typically, when you get an embargo, it's like, don't stream more than 30 minutes or 2 hours of the game, like a good chunk of the game. So I think this is like a 100+ hour game. It's a game that you really got to dive into. And I saw Elohim. Elohim like started off and was tweeting like, yeah, we're gonna do a 12-hour stream. We're gonna play Pillars of Eternity. 3 hours later, he's like, guys, I can't just read for 12 hours straight on a broadcast. I can't do that.
I heard a lot of casters say that.
Yeah.
Yep. But here's the thing, though, and you actually nailed it. It is a new Baldur's Gate. But there's so many things about it that are incredible for the genre to move forward.
Absolutely.
I mean, from the stash system to the new UIs to the streamline to the interface, it is so much fun. I am infatuatedly in love with it. Like, I can't wait to get back to it. But just like you said, like, there's all these other games that are so much better to stream. Bloodborne, World of Warships, Reign of Kings, even if I go back to that. Subnautica came out with a big patch. There's tons of stuff to stream, and that one is just kind of it's tough. It's tough. And also, I hate saying it, but I think all these factors we were listing also make it kind of unpopular on Twitch. So it's like when you go there, you can't expect a huge amount of new viewers. That's true. Which is really unfortunate.
It's true. I don't know. It's a good game. I've played Baldur's Gate 1, haven't played 2, haven't beat Baldur's Gate 1. Very close to it, but yeah. If that's your fancy, I think it comes out on Friday for public consumption. So I would say definitely pick it up. It's got a lot of cool stuff in it. The story seems very strong. I've only played the first 4 hours of it, but it was still a pretty good chunk. The AI, the mob AI, seems a little bit. What difficulty were you playing on, Co?
Hard.
Okay. Did you go down into the? Let's just put on the spoils tab in case people care.
Did I go down into the stone area in the first major part?
In the first city, did you go downstairs to the stone area? Yes, the temple beneath the church.
Yes.
So you killed the whatever king that mob was at the end?
Yes.
How many people did you have in your party?
5.
Okay. I went down with 4, and I think that was my folly. the mob. I ran out of camps so I couldn't camp before the boss fight. But the AI just like would target my casters no matter what I did. They like the king would just run straight to him and just, oh, you're dead. There was nothing I could do.
It was pretty tough. I had to juggle like a lot of the skills that were like the knockdowns and the stuff that would actually hold them in place to get that fight somewhat under control. Thankfully, it's kind of like one of the things I do really like about this game. It is very similar to kind of an MMO. Like it seems very much like there's an aggro table, and once you kind of establish your routine in a fight, you can kind of manage it, pretty well from a tactical view. So I do really like those changes to it, and it works really well.
Yeah.
But figuring that out took a little bit. And some of the mechanics are a little bit wonky. You will, just like I remember in one of my first fights, the guy just followed my caster. I kited him.
Yeah. I felt like I was playing StarCraft again and kiting Marines against Lings.
Yeah. But thankfully, once you start getting some of the higher end fighter stuff.
Yeah, nice StarCraft.
Bronze League hype.
There you go.
But once you start getting some of the more advanced fighter abilities, you can really start to kind of manage it a bit better. So it gets better.
What else? I guess I do. I want to talk about Final Fantasy, but in the sense of not talking about the actual game because everyone knows what that is. But the sense of like, it was really odd to me, and I think I shared this with you, Ko. The game has a huge player base to it. I think they have like 4 million either accounts or 4 million people that have purchased the game. It's got a massive audience, right? And it doesn't have a massive audience on Twitch. There are the streamers that are known for this game, but they're, like 300, 400 views, stuff like that. It was the weirdest thing to me streaming a game and getting pretty good viewership for a game that doesn't get good viewership on Twitch, and having people from the community coming into my channel and saying like, thank you for streaming this game. That was the weirdest thing I've ever experienced on Twitch, to have like a community come and thank me for playing their game. It's never happened before for any other game. I was wondering if you guys have ever had similar experiences for that.
I have a few times, especially when I've done promoted events for things that like aren't played a lot. Like when I actually did Firefall, of all things, like there were tons of people coming in like, yes, we want, because they were the diehard Firefall fans. They were like, we want to get more people in this game. We want more people playing. Thank you for doing this. And that was a really cool thing. But it's really incredible. And this is actually a really interesting point. New streamers, listen up here. Yeah. It's really incredible how there's a lot of communities out there of established games that are looking for people to stream it, and they will build a little community around your channel. Like there's stuff going on that right now in Guild Wars 2 in anticipation of the new expansion coming out. There are so many people that are coming back to Twitch looking for streamers to hear about the expansion, all the new stuff, and it's a great opportunity. I mean, it's a perfect opportunity for all those people saying, oh, hey, there's no opportunities on Twitch for new streamers. These are it. So get out there and start doing it.
Yeah, it was just a bizarre thing. And that community, and maybe like all the assholes reside at like the top end content. They don't get up and walk around on Talk and Reddit or something. I don't know where they're at, but I haven't met like a negative like I'm the only asshole walking around in that game, and I'm just like, Jesus, like everyone is so nice, and what is going on? Like, who are you people? Where do you come from? I don't know how to exist amongst you.
I feel the same way at like cons when we the two cons I've been in. I was like, I don't trust this emotion.
It's really like, are people out to get me? Like, is this a trap? Am I about to be sprung up into a tree and poked at?
What do they want from me?
Calling on me, you sons of bitches.
It was a weird thing. I think we've talked about pretty much everything except for Bloodborne. No, do we?
No one wants to talk about that game.
I actually do want to talk about this game.
It's like Dreadnought on the ocean. It's great.
I've seen a lot of people, especially a lot of the Coalition members, stream this game. Loco was like casting it. Like I joined her stream and she was like, it was like I was watching a StarCraft broadcast, and she was like casting the match because I guess she died early on or something like that, and you can spectate after you die or some crap. Ko, what is it about that game that you enjoy so much? Because I don't get it.
Man. Okay, first of all,
I've seen paint dry that's more exciting.
Ko's like, settle in.
Okay,
get ready.
It's tactically very exciting. Like it's with the kind of game. First of all, there's not a lot of games like it, so it's nice to have something that's different. It's off the beaten path. It's like a first-person shooter in really slow motion, but it's to the point where it's much more of a thinking game than a Twitch game. So it's yes, jackass. So it's the kind of thing I have a great time in it. I think it's really great for streamers because it allows them to interact with their chat a lot, yet still actually be playing the game and do well in the game. The little destroyers offer really quick play, especially when you get close to other ships and some hilarious moments. I was dual casting with Giant Waffle yesterday. Had an absolute blast. We were watching each other after we died and like trying to help them as much as we could. And I mean it was an absolute mess. But at the end of the day, it offers a really fun gameplay loop. The basic game is a lot of fun once you get into it. And then once you get into that, the outside game where you unlock the new ships and you go through the levels and each ship is tangibly better than the last one and offers an entire new experience on how you play it and how it feels and aims and shoots. It's really fun. It's really fun. And most importantly, it feels like Dreadnought, which as you guys know is a game I'm super excited for coming out later this year.
Is that why you're playing it? It's because it's filling the Dreadnought itch?
Funny enough, that's a big reason. Yes. Okay. The pace of the game is very similar to Dreadnought, and I am very excited for that. And as such, the first time I played it, the first round when I played World of Warships, I kind of sat there and I was like, this is like, this feels like something I've done before. Like, this is cool, So it's really fun. It's really fun. I recommend at least trying it if you haven't. I recommend everyone at least try it. Hopefully we'll go into open beta.
Can you shift queue your path so you don't even have to like play?
Oh, absolutely. You can set an autopilot and then that'll let you aim the guns. Yeah, it's great. It's great. That's why it's such a great streaming game.
I would love to watch Sacriel play this because he's so tactical.
That's true, yeah.
Like, I imagine he would really sink into this.
Well, it's weird because, it's not weird, but it's interesting to me that, like, the World of Tanks community, obviously one of the big, in terms of just the size of, or the amount of people that play that game is fucking massive. Like, there's a gigantic audience for that. And on Twitch, there's not really a big streamer that plays it apart from maybe like one or two guys, and I think they have also their esports side of the things that gets pretty good viewership.
When they do tournaments and stuff, it gets pretty big.
Yeah, so I feel like maybe, and maybe you can tell me this, Code, like, did you get a lot of people that came that were new to your channel completely for when you were streaming this game?
Oh, yeah,
because it was
absolutely.
You were streaming the game?
In fact, almost every stream that I did for World of Warships on the closed beta release was over 8,000 in primetime. Which I could never normally get without
prime
what I would call a high
America?
title.
Or
Primetime
what's
America?
primetime
between 11 and 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. Eastern. So right over kind of the lunch break, that's right around noon is when generally my stream will kind of roll to its peak, and I would frequently break 8,000 just doing World of Warships, which blew me away. I thought that was great. But there's an important factor in this though. The game is in closed beta, so for a lot of people, the only thing they can do is
just
watch it.
Oh.
Yeah, that's it. So they, it's almost an arcade situation where the want to see it is really boosting the numbers right now. So again, it's one of those things. If you're a Twitch streamer and you have access to it, it's a great place to be right now.
What is the like World of Tanks is obviously a game that has a lot of microcurrency and or microtransactions in it. What is the in-game stuff here?
They haven't really implemented yet in the beta. It's not fully on, so we haven't really been able to see the full impact of it. We do know that they have learned a lot from World of Tanks, which there was a huge outcry for a while about how pay to win it was. Yeah. They aren't looking to do something like that, and they have said that almost all the pay to win stuff will be almost all the pay stuff will be focused towards faster progression, towards paths that everyone can take normally. Also,
Gotcha.
Real quick, a big shout out to the Wargaming devs. They were hanging out in the channel for hours.
Oh, they're super supportive.
Questions.
Yeah, when I played World of Tanks,
hundreds of keys. Yeah. It's been incredible. They also go to other streamers. They'll give them packages of keys. They give people on my team keys. Really, really cool of them, and exactly what streamers like me are looking for from devs to work with them.
It was a while back, but I remember playing World of Tanks, and a bunch of the devs joined, and they were giving away like some rare tank, whatever that is. Some game you couldn't buy anymore. You could only get it from devs. And the viewership skyrocketed like in 10 minutes from, I was probably like at 1,000 then to like 4K plus, because they tweeted they were like giving away this special key, and their entire audience just came over with like, give me the fucking key. I don't care what you're doing in this game. I want it. I want that tank right now. And I'd just be like, I'm just going to use it myself. And then I never played the game again. So that sucks.
You should maintain tweets saying like, remember that tank? I never use it. Did you want it? Because I don't use it. Now you can't have it.
Yeah, just alienate my
Take
Twitter
a picture, Photoshop on spider webs and dust all over it, and like.
Yeah. No, it actually was a
Spray
Type
paint
59.
graffiti.
I think that is it.
Can I make a kind of a public plea related to this game?
Sure.
Now, it's common to abbreviate World of Tanks as WOT. Can
Sure.
we just agree all together to not call this WOW?
We call it
Ooh.
WOWs. We call it WOWS.
It's add an S.
We've had this discussion.
WOWS. Like, I see so many people
Warships.
talking about WoW, and they're talking about World of Warships. Like, that is such a fantastically bad idea. Can we just, as a Twitch community, all just agree to not call this game WoW? Please.
What are we going to
Why don't we
do?
just call it like, just take out the of and just call it like dub.
Dub. Ooh.
Dub.
Double dub.
You got that? You got some of that dub, Zeke? Can I get some
I
of
got
that?
some of that dub.
I mean, all you got to do is add an S on there, and we're fine. But, like,
I feel like
WoW
that
is
one day, the gaming community is going to run out of acronyms, and that'll be a dark day. It'll be a dark day.
I think World of Warships
That'll be a
is
whole-
that AJB.
It might
I
be.
think we're here.
No, I think actually
this is
Blizzard
it.
trumped itself when they named HOTS, Heart of the Swarm, and then have Heroes of the
Yeah.
Storm, and it's HOTS again. And then they're like, no, guys, it's Heroes. And like, actually, it's HOTS. Like, what are you talking about, Blizzard? What are you talking about? So, yeah. I don't know. I will actually, I will probably never play that game. Zeke, you have any interest in playing World of Warships?
Dude, I cannot play games that have any tactical value. I'm so bad. I can barely brush my teeth in the morning without poking my eye out. So, like, as far as that goes, no. I'll play stuff that I can, like, that doesn't require a whole bunch of moving parts. How about?
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
But yeah, no. I mean, honestly, I was looking at it. I played Dreadnought at the at PAX, and it was a lot of fun. But World of Wars, like those kind of games, like PvP games, man, PvP games just frustrate me because I'm so bad, and the joy you get from winning, I will never taste it. It doesn't. I'll go in there and then I will give that. You know what? Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll just go in there and give that joy to other people. How about that?
There you
Oh,
go.
such a nice guy.
Joy
Such
of
a
winning.
nice guy.
Here's your present.
There you go.
Also, JP, to further strengthen this, someone else, or Hyperius pointed out the good point. Pillars of Eternity, Path of Exile. And when
PoE.
I was streaming it, that was a huge issue.
Yeah, that's fuck, man. It actually is already happening. A year from now, acronyms will not be safe. They will not be safe.
That'll be a
Everyone's gonna
whole episode of Drop Frames.
Yeah, a year. Let's talk about acronyms in gaming. Actually, I think Total Biscuit will take that one. It's more controversial. Anyways, the last game we're going to talk about, I think that we've all been playing. Bacon, you haven't started Bloodborne, right? You said you never played a Souls game?
I hope I can be some sort of counterpoint here because I've never played a Souls game.
Okay.
I know I just lost cred with like everyone that was already going, this guy is a Minecraft guy. I don't know if I like him. Now everyone's just like, drop the mic. I'm out. Like,
it's all good. It's all good. I think before
By the way, we have to be super careful with spoilers.
That's what I'm about to say. Before we talk
Super
about this
careful.
game, let's just be clear. No mentions of bosses. No mentions of game mechanics that are obscure as shit.
Or cool and interesting weapons. Because I think for discovering this for the first time.
I think
are
weapon
amazing.
discovery is so. It's really we're gonna talk about Bloodborne and not talk about at the same time. Zeke,
We can still talk about the mechanics and how it is overall. And
Yeah, I'm not going to
there's-
show footage of it on screen as well because I don't want it to spoil for people. Because
It's a good call.
I even had I put up my first. I'm porting everything I play onto YouTube, and so that went up yesterday. And I guess I skipped something or I didn't do something, and I woke up to Twitter to this guy just spamming me all the things that I missed in the game, and I was fucking furious. when this happened. And then of course I made the tweet please don't send me tweets about spoiling it. And then of course everyone just did that. So. Yay on me. But we're not even talking about the game at this point. We're bitching about backseaters. The game's fantastic through and through. I don't think you're going to find someone that doesn't say that. Zeke, I think you have the most experience with it between me and Co. I don't know. You did like a 27-hour stream or something like that?
No, I just did 24.
24.
Just 24.
Just 24. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man did 38.
I woke up this morning from my sleep, because after that 24 hours, you're awake. You're like, now what? And then I ate food, and then I went, man, I'm still awake. And then I went,
yep,
and exploded into sleep. Like
Yep.
seriously, I like jumped into it.
Sleep explosion.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. Sleep explosion. There you go. But yeah, no, I played it for the full 24, and it is very, very much like Dark Souls, obviously.
yeah.
I will say that there are some things that I really had a problem with, and here's the caveat that I will say about anything I say about the game. It may just be because I'm bad at games. Okay, it may be because I'm bad at games and I don't they don't click sometimes. But there are certain things I didn't like. One of the things I always hated about Dark Souls games, but loved at the same time, was you missed one thing. You missed one door, one staircase, one, hole in the floor.
Yeah.
And you're fucked for
How much time did you waste because you
wandering
missed
around
one?
Checking every single thing that you've already checked over and over again. And that's what happened to me for about 3 hours. I did not progress in the game because there
Really?
was one place that I just missed. And it wasn't like secrety. It was just like I kind of overlooked it.
Was this early on?
Yeah, when did this happen?
She was about I would say 12 hours in, maybe.
How?
Oh, wow.
How many?
Something like that.
How many bosses were slain when you had this?
I was
happen?
2 down. I had 2
Okay.
down.
Okay.
I tuned it
But-
into Man when he was struggling with the same thing. It was to the point where he was
Well, to be
like
honest,
having to ban people for spoilers because they were starting to get frustrated and go, man, it's right back there. And he's like, shut up. I don't want to hear
yeah.
it."
To be honest, is this the result of streaming a game for 24 hours straight that is very difficult? Like, is it sleep exhaustion setting in of just making a poor
I
mistake?
wouldn't say that. I really
Okay.
wouldn't say that. I had one that's not even a gripe. That's just something that's just frustrating that happened. I have a couple of gripes with the game. One being, they give you, there's an attribute. I'm going to try and be as vague as possible. There's an attribute that you can put points into, and you feel screwed because that attribute doesn't come into play when I was playing, and I
Interesting.
felt screwed. I felt like I was a chump.
Because you
'Cause
built your character wrong.
I sunk that's what I did. I was like picking guys. I was like, I'm gonna be this kind of guy, and I was walking around. I was like, wait till I get this. Wait till something happens with this. Nothing. Zippo.
Gotcha.
For 24 hours, I was just like, what in the fuck did and that's the thing. If I play it again, I'm starting a brand new character, because I also relegated myself to that. I was like, I'm waiting. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Never happened. And I didn't pick the biggest weapons and stuff. I relegated myself to character style weapons and stuff like that, and that upset me.
Huh.
But other than that, I'm sure everyone else who built your standard beefy
Yeah, for me,
warrior
exactly.
guy was having a blast.
Yeah, I just go straight strength in any Souls game I played, and so far I'm having a great time.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you are.
That's great.
It's
How many
always the
bosses
best.
do you have down, JP?
I killed one yesterday, but I think it's the second boss in the game. I only played for 4 hours, and it was very strict 4 hours. Like I tried to play as much as the game I could, and now I'll be playing again tomorrow, which sucks because all I've been thinking about is playing Bloodborne. But I was very proud because I walked into the boss for the first time fighting him, and I was still level 1 because I skipped all the stuff, and I hadn't leveled up yet. I hadn't done any of that. And I got him down to 5% and then died. So I was very happy with my performance yesterday in the game. I think I have 13 deaths total or something like that. So I'm doing all right.
I only met the only one boss so far that's like a Dark Souls-y kind of a boss. Like the first few bosses.
I've seen
were just
some streamers have difficulty with. I've spoiled myself a little bit, but you kind of have to when you watch a bunch of Bloodborne streamers. Some of the bosses do look pretty fucking terrifyingly hard. And so I'm very interested in seeing those. Again, as being vague as possible, there is some very interesting shit going on in this game that I'm really curious to find out what in the hell is happening. Because I happened on some stuff yesterday, and I don't know what the hell is going on. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in a Souls game. I don't know what it was. I don't want to know what it was, but everyone in my chat was just like, what was that? Like, what just happened? And if you want to know what I'm talking about, feel free to go watch the VODs, but I'm not going to talk about it because I feel like it might be a big reveal.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for that.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'll share it with you in a private PM. Ko, you've been playing a lot of it. What are your thoughts on it?
I have. I've been having a great time with it. You know, I think it took all the really good parts of Dark Souls and some of the bad parts, unfortunately. But I like the way that they do their health and how you get health back. I really enjoy what they're doing with weapons. The weapons feel great. Some of them are very creative, a lot of fun. The level design is fantastic.
It's always so good.
But I've run into a few situations like Zeke, and I think, and I can't echo enough how frustrating it can be when you just don't know where to go, and you know it does turn out to be just some little place that you've walked by 3 or 4 times that you need to drop down on this side or something like that. And the part that really makes it kind of frustrating is the level design is so good sometimes to the point of where sometimes a door right in front of you almost blends in to everything around it.
Yeah.
So you can run by it like 5 or 6 times. Like there was this one ladder in this one location that went up to this area that I kept commenting how I wanted to go to while I was trying to go somewhere else. Probably 10, 15 times I ran by this ladder, and it became a joke in the chat. Chat was just like, oh, there he goes by the ladder again. Hey, look, he just commented he wants to go up again. You know, it was really bad. So, you know, it's a really fun game, but and it is a worthy continuation, in my opinion. But just like Zeke, you know, there's a few things about it that certainly could have been a little bit better.
I haven't run into anything like that, so I'm still on cloud 9 with it. I don't have any issues. Everything that
they're in the honeymoon phase still.
I am. Yeah, I'm definitely still in the honeymoon phase.
I can't wait to go back and just say, you know, screw character, screw, you know, whatever. Like, because having like someone in your head that you want to be is, you know, it sets you up for disappointment. So if I go into it next time, you better believe that I'm putting absolutely none restrictions on myself. The reason why I do that is because it seems like every time I go into like a game that I play, if I watch somebody else stream, like everybody's using the same things because they're the best.
They are, yeah. I've definitely seen some people try to do something different, and it doesn't seem that successcul.
Yeah, try to. That's the thing, because everybody's and that's like that means there just needs to be balance, I guess.
Yeah, it might be like pigeonholing people into playing a certain way too much. It might be a legitimate complaint about the game.
Yeah.
But I'm super into it. I love all the little small things they've done that is like different from a Souls game.
What did you do during the loading screens?
That's the other complaint, and they've said they're going to patch it.
I sang.
It's fun. I sang. There were some times where I would just rattle off excuses about why I just died. And I would just it was like a 40-second load, so I could get a lot of excuses in there.
Let me ask you a question as someone who's never played a Dark Souls title. I'm just going to go ahead and call Bloodborne a Dark Souls title.
It is, yeah, it is.
Because, you know, I know the whole history and everything. I've watched a lot of it stream. You know, I've watched a lot of DS1 speedruns and stuff, too. The main thing as a viewer looking at it that looks like it would be frustrating to me is the way that the combat is always so slow, like the cooldown on the attacks.
Yeah,
right? The
everything's
whole concept
heavy.
of like you swing and then you got to wait like 10 seconds for the cooldown on that before you can swing again. As someone who has played a lot of action RPGs before, that looks like it would be so freaking frustrating that I would just give up.
I think we might all have different answers, but for me, that's the fun part of the game is like micromanaging what goes on in a fight that looks very, very quick and like I'm just smashing buttons, but I'm actually like positioning in that game is important. The methodology behind like doing a parry, or in this game like shooting your gun and then being able to parry him, etc. That stuff is what is interesting to me as someone who plays Bloodborne and someone who plays Dark Souls as well. Like,
maybe
I
it's
enjoy
just
the heaviness.
my play style, right? Maybe that's but personally, I would much rather have a fast, low damage weapon
And
than
those
a high
exist.
damage, slow weapon.
That is a totally valid playable playstyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say what you were probably seeing, Bacon, is like there's some very
Most streamers
heavy
just
hammers,
use the
some
heavy stuff.
very large.
Okay,
yeah,
so
some
you
very
can
large
do
weapons.
that. People just don't.
Yeah.
That's what
Oh,
I
absolutely,
I
absolutely.
used
In fact,
the
I
cane.
use little
That's
swords
good to know.
with my guy.
I had
Yeah,
the cane
and a
sword.
lot of people. Go ahead, Zeke.
Oh, I had the cane sword. And it was like.
Yeah, it's pretty quick.
Yep.
But like if you're
Most
watching
of
a
the
man.
weapons-
Sorry, I let you
It's-
talk. We're all interrupting because we love the game. Go ahead, go.
most of the weapons have a light and heavy mode, so you can for instance I don't want to talk too much about the weapon, but for the light and heavy, or the light mode generally offers a really quick play style. You recover quickly. If you attack, you can still dodge during it, stuff like that. And then if you switch over to the heavy mode, those are the ones where it's just like JP said, it offers a really interesting play style because you have to commit. You have to think a little bit ahead and say, this is where I'm going to be in a few seconds. Am I going to be in a bad place? You have to think much more tactically about what you're going to do. It's not just about pressing buttons to do damage. It's, I'm going to be totally exposed for
Right.
the next few seconds. I don't think any of the weapons really exceed, more than probably like 2 or 3 seconds. So it probably, if you're watching it, it probably looks a little bit longer, feels longer, but the longest weapon, or at least the one I have right now, the biggest one, is maybe 3 seconds. So it should be pretty good for most people.
I saw a weapon with a charge up time of like 5 or 6 for its R2 attack.
All R2 weapons can be charged. Now, if you're doing a heavy attack, that's something totally different.
Yeah,
I'm talking
this
about
was like, you're just doing a normal strike.
I'm talking about normal swings.
Okay,
There
I know what you're talking
charged
about
up
then.
attacks. I have a weapon right now that you not only have to load with one action, but then when you actually do the charge up action with it loaded, it takes, probably 6 seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, he sits there and like powers up like a DBZ character. You
Yeah.
know, it's like it takes time.
So is it a case of casters just enjoying the heavier hitting playstyles more, or
It's
is
more
it a case
rewarding
of
for
is
me.
it a case of just the other way is just bad and you shouldn't play that way?
I don't think it's bad. In fact,
like,
I think a lot of
it's
the PvPers...
really- Everybody plays that way. At least that I don't know.
I think in like some of the older
people that I
Souls
watch.
game, a lot of the PvPers will actually go for a faster weapon generally. Maybe I'm completely wrong about that. I never PvP, but I remember for the most part they favored like a quicker weapon to get more strikes in rather than one that would just be like a one-shot weapon. But maybe I'm completely wrong. But generally when I would get invaded, that was what was occurring. Is some asshole with a little fucking rapier just poking me in my side for days until I died. It was frustrating, but yeah, I
See,
know
that's
that.
why I always love being the spellcasters.
Yeah.
In Dark Souls 2 and 1.
Well, they
and
were
Demon
broken as
Souls.
hell in Dark
That's why
Souls
I like
2.
being the guy who threw fireballs and soul arrows and stuff. I loved being that guy. I really, really, really loved it.
Yeah. Mages were broken in Dark Souls 2,
stats.
though. Did you played a mage in DS2, right, Zeke?
Oh yeah, I played. That's
God,
who I
they were
played
so
throughout all
broken.
of them. Like that's who I start with. That's how I always because that's how I started Dungeons and Dragons, man.
Did you
My
beat it
first
as a
character
mage?
was a mage, and I played that same dude for 6 years. And
Damn.
every game that gives me an option, I will be the sorcerer, the wizard, the magic user, the whatever you call him. I will be that guy.
There you go. There you go.
So have any of you been invaded in Bloodborne?
I think the server. I don't know. Maybe it has to be. Maybe there's a mechanic that has to occur for that to happen. I don't know, but I have not seen a single person been invaded yet, or be invaded yet.
Because I heard that concept talked up and then never happened. So,
I know that at least on launch, if you clicked play online, the servers were really flooded on Monday night and during Tuesday.
that seems like you ought to be able to get invaded more often, right?
It might be a mechanic in the game. There's this game for me seems much like Demon Souls, where it has things that are going on that I don't know and I probably won't know for a very long time in the game. And so that might be the case. It's weird talking about it and like without trying to spoil anything in the game. So I hope that answers your question, but it should be there because that's been a staple of like the Dark Souls experience. In Dark Souls 2, there were specific areas that you could be invaded in. It wasn't everywhere in the game. You had to be like in a, I don't remember what they were called, but they were basically PvP zones where you'd walk into like the Belfry Tower, for example, and the second you do, you get invaded instantly. Because I think it just pops up and it made that area, which was optional, extremely difficult. Because there was a boss up there, and you would never get to the boss without being invaded. No matter what, you'd have to kill the guy somehow. And a lot of times people would just sit in one area and just sit there and like wait just to be able to fight you, and you couldn't progress forward. So it definitely existed in the older games. I don't know if it does in Bloodborne, but I want to find out. So yeah, I think that game is the quintessential streamer game. I think that there was proof when you saw how many people were broadcasting it on Tuesday. I'd love to see Twitch release numbers around that game, just the amount of broadcasters actually casting it and the numbers for it. It crossed 100K at one point, which is a lot for a game that has no competitiveness in it. Like, it's just a straight up story / action RPG in it. I think it would be cool if in the next Dark Souls game, if a bunch of streamers got together and everyone did a 24-hour stream and there was like a race behind it. Like, you didn't watch other people's streams, but you had 6 people that were competing against one another to see who could get further in that 24-hour stream, and people could all watch at the same time, but the broadcasters had no idea what was going on, and as long as people didn't spoil what was going on in another stream, that'd be pretty interesting.
I'd love to participate in something like that, just because I would be able to give them the gift of victory and the taste. They would get to taste that win by beating me.
It would be
just like other PvP games. Like I was talking, that's recall humor. I don't know if you know what that is, but
yeah. It would be interesting.
Can
to
I
see
real
that.
quick? I'm sorry. Can we mention all the casters that went to St. Jude?
Oh yeah, by all means. That's right. We should have talked about the opening. You were away this past weekend.
Yes, this past weekend, and that's where we actually watched the all Chiquita drop frames. That's what I was talking about. 15 casters are like, how many? I don't know how many exactly total, but there was quite a few of us down there. We all went to St. Jude and toured around the facilities. My first time in Tennessee, my first time being there, and it was like astounding how awesome that place is. It's like it's like a school. It's so little like a hospital. It's like a campus, like a college campus. So many people went down, and it was so great to see what they were all about and stuff like that. And just so you know, there's a lot of cool stuff coming up in May. That's when the month that St. Jude is going to be doing a lot of caster fundraising, team donation, like charity stuff, and it's going to be great. And I'm planning on doing like a week in May, the week of my birthday, actually.
Awesome.
Gonna do a week of like stuff. There's gonna be incentives, like all kinds of stuff. But St. Jude itself was really awesome, and it was really cool to see like how involved and how enthusiastic they are about Twitch.
What was the purpose of the event?
The purpose of the event was to bring us down there, show us what they do, brainstorm about how to do fundraisers and how to do teams team events and that kind of stuff. Basically, and also to show us like what, like, get us motivated. You know, how better to motivate somebody than to show them like this is what we do, and we want to show you everything, and you can ask any questions you want. And it totally, like, I had an idea of St. Jude in my head, but seeing it like totally just, it motivated me. I'm like, I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to, raise some money and stuff.
Because I know you all spent time with the kids and stuff too.
Yes,
but the overarching reason for it was to kind of set the stage for future stuff.
It was a summit, right? Like that.
Yeah.
You were to talk. Yeah, it was to talk about all the. I assume only I wasn't there, but
Yeah. No, that's what it was. It was talking about future events, talk about getting people involved and that kind of stuff. Honestly, the best part was we did 8-player Smash with kids and casters, and it was
wait. Did you get through that without cursing?
Maybe. I don't.
Did you break a controller?
I didn't break anything.
I've seen you play Smash before, Zeke. I know how into that game you get.
I didn't break anything, including a kid. I did not do any.
Did a kid beat you?
Yes.
Okay.
There were kids. I mean, kids won like every time.
Okay. Yeah.
But it was seriously awesome. Everybody was just I like stepped in and became like the ringmaster of like the whole Smash thing. Because there were other things that were doing, like there was like a cookie station and like popcorn and all this kind of stuff. But I was like the ringmaster. Like I played one game of Smash. I like played the first game of Smash, and the rest of it, like Zach, who was the liaison from St. Jude to Twitch, he came up to me. He's like, "Hey, dude, do you want to just run this? Because you seem like, you know,
You seem really into it.
seem like, yeah." And I was like, "Sure, okay." So I stepped in. I was like, "All right, who's next? Let's go." And everybody's like, and you know, talk some very, very tame smack to the kids and stuff.
Okay, you kept it real.
And it was a lot of fun. I had a blast.
Were there YouTubers at this thing as well, or was it only Twitch folk?
There was a couple YouTubers that are also on Twitch.
Okay.
Oh my God.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot with names.
No, there was. If I had to remember everybody's name, we'd be here forever.
There's a lot of people there. So.
But yes, there was. I can't remember how many people total were here, but I want to say it's like somewhere between 15 and 20.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, it's really cool though.
I think one. I don't know why I took this way, but you guys just started What is the act of Meerkat? Because I just saw Meerkasting. There you go.
Yeah, because it's Meerkat. And
I just saw a billion Meerkat links. Especially, I was live at the time, so I couldn't watch the karaoke stream that went on. But you guys were like from your phones. It's a live streaming tool from your phone.
I had no idea what it was until Elohim, who was sitting there, is like, he got his phone. I was like, "We're gonna do some casting right now." I was like, "What? You can cast like on Twitch from your phone?" He's like, No, it's this new thing called Meerkat. And I was like, "What?"
Huh.
And here's the funny thing. He goes, "We're gonna cast like from this Meerkat thing," and da-da-da. It's like, "What should we call it? What should we call it?" And I was like, "Meerkasting," and I was like, "Genius!" I was like, "That's the first thing you say." Genius is the first thing. But anyways, so he had his phone out, and he was like going, and it was like they Meerkasted the karaoke we did, and
is it monetized?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
No,
I just wonder if Twitch looks at that and they're just like, "Oh, maybe we should bring back like mobile streaming. Maybe that's a big thing." Like, I don't know.
Well, that's an important question for casters, because if it's monetized, you can potentially breach a contract. But
I seriously doubt it is.
Oh, I didn't even think about that aspect. Let's get everyone that went there fired from Twitch because they're on a different streaming platform.
I saw all the Meerkat links going around, and I clicked through one, and the first thing is wanting to like authorize Twitter, and I immediately backed out.
Yeah, that's
So
why I didn't
never
watch
tried
it. Yeah,
because I've been burned so many times with shady sites and stuff, like tweeting stuff. You sign up for something that looks legitimate, and then all of a sudden tweets appear on your timeline that you didn't put there. And so when I see a page like that, I'm immediately like, no.
This seems reputable in that regard.
Yeah.
I didn't see any foreign. All I saw was Ray-Ban tweets. That's all I got. This entire week.
But it was described to me as like a mobile casting thing where you're using Twitter as the chat room. So people like reply to the tweet, and it ends up in the chat on the thing.
Interesting.
I haven't. That's just what somebody told me. I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I didn't look. Zeke, do you have any idea what type of numbers you guys were pulling?
Yes, at the biggest, our room had 220.
Interesting.
Yeah, like and that was sitting in the hotel. He had just popped up, and we were all just sitting around like in the lobby, and it was like, just passing the phone around, talking, and getting people like everybody was like retweeting like, it was more of a gimmick than anything else,
Huh.
More like a party favor.
Someone in chat saying they recently cut Meerkat's use of the Twitter API off. That's not good.
No,
Who
well,
knows? I don't know. I don't know why I'm
automated.
making this about Meerkat. I'm just interested in this shit.
That's automated though.
We're
Like
talking about St. Jude's.
the Twitter API has a rate limit, and if you pass it, it cuts
goes,
you off for an hour.
Okay, maybe that's why then.
I doubt that's actually big news. Like,
Yeah, yeah, interesting. Okay, I think. Oh, what you guys been watching anything? I've been mostly watching Strippin'. So he might even be streaming right now. More Bloodborne. I like watching casters just start that game because it's not spoilers for me, so I can just actively watch it. And so I've been like last night, Laura Nene was streaming that. I was watching her. Future Man Gaming had some crazy success last week on Reddit. He had a video pop into the top page on R All and got like 500,000 views on his YouTube channel.
really?
on a video of his obs breaking, and it was doing the echo effect. So it was like the same image, but like moved over an inch or whatever, like sucking into a black hole type deal.
Oh yeah,
I was there when he did that.
Yeah, he turned that
day.
into. He made it like entertaining. It was like a 6-minute clip, and it wound up on you or on
he was all like,
Reddit.
Whoa! I'm sudden a black hole. This has never happened before.
Yeah, he started like
I have
dancing
to dance
to it
my
and
way
shit.
out of it.
Yeah, it was pretty funny watching
what a
that.
perfect thing to happen to him though. Like,
Yeah,
that's
I thought
awesome.
that was interesting. What about you guys? Anything you've been watching in particular? Any broadcasters?
I have recently been hooked on Pause on Pause. He's one of the members of Nerd Fusion, and he's mostly known for YouTube, but he streams all the time, and I really feel like he's gonna get a lot of growth on Twitch because the guy is just hilarious. He plays a lot of Counter-Strike. He plays a lot of Isaac. He kind of had his start with Minecraft on YouTube, but he's moved away from that mostly, and he's one of these nice guy Canadians that can still really troll people. Like he was, for example, what the moment that really made me fall in love with his stream was he was playing CS:GO and he was opening cases, right?
As you
But
do,
he was
'cause you don't
trolling.
actually play CS:GO.
Oh yeah, he definitely actually plays. But he was like making fun of the whole like just opening cases thing, and so he was playing it up like he was actually like rocking back and forth, like one more case, man. Just got to get one more case, and he was like so into it that the people in the chat were believing him, and he just kept doing it, and people were like, "Pause, you need to take a break, man. Like you're looking upset." And he just kept doing it, and I don't know. It was just brilliant, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be in this guy's stream forever now. But anyway, yeah, and he's a super nice guy. He's a giant of a man that gives amazing hugs at PAX. So
The CS:GO, the Twitch should actually. I don't know why I'm bringing this up. Twitch should bring a new game title that's not Counter-Strike Go. It's case opening. Right. And that should be the game that people streaming under is case opening. Or if you're actually playing CS:GO, then you put it under CS:GO.
I mean, Counter-Strike already has that meta category for maps, right? Like, just put that in the list, right?
Opening cases. If they're just sitting in the buy screen, that's what it should be. And then opening cases would be the #1 game on stream every once in a while.
I mean, all joking aside, I completely agree with that notion because a lot of people, it tends to come up kind of tangentially to the same kind of stuff that last week's Drop Frames was about, where it's they're in a game technically, but they're not, gaming in the traditional sense. So the mismatch of expectations causes a lot of conflict. Personally, I have nothing wrong with that, right? Like if there is a stream that is 100% about opening cases, I don't have any, like, I don't think that's ruining Twitch or like all these things or whatever. But I feel like we ought to have a way to manage expectations so people don't get angry when they're expecting fragging and they're seeing gambling.
Well, it's a little bit weird too, because if you watch the streams where people are opening cases, their numbers skyrocket, and then the second they start playing the game, they plummet. It's a really weird trend on Twitch. And it's also interesting too, when people see someone opening a case and they have tips on their stream, people will tip to open more cases.
Yeah.
Which is really...
That seems kind of weird. That seems just like gambling.
It pretty much is gambling.
It is. Like, hands down, it is gambling.
When I was a kid and Magic just came out, Magic the Gathering just came out.
Did you do the one more pack thing?
That was kid gambling. Yeah. It was kid gambling. You would go buy a pack. Look,
it's true. It's true.
Well, sort of. And then I don't know, maybe you all are too young for this, but when I was a kid, we figured out how to game that system because in the early days of Magic,
you could
they printed and assembled the cards in the same order every time. So if you could get the comic shop to open a brand new box, you knew that you could go to the third pack on the northwest corner and pull out that legendary. So you reach in, you get that pack, and then you can go to school and sell it to your friends. Eventually they wised up and started randomizing everything, but yeah.
If you owned a store
Uh-huh.
You were
Just-
in.
yeah,
that
just-
was your in.
Yeah,
Yep.
just open the
Oh
third
my
pack
God.
every time and then just sell that card. That's what I would do
amazing.
if I owned a store.
It's like hustling Magic cards.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
back in the way early days, I don't remember what set it was, but it was before Revise. So it was one of the first like 5 sets that they ever did. They made a pack, and you could like manipulate the card, and that was a better yours was a better option, but you could manipulate the card and you
And
could
feel
kind
them?
of see it
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
through the set or the plastic covering.
Jesus, you guys were some. I don't even know what to call that. You were something though as a kid. I don't even know. I'm not even.
No, seriously,
not
like
gonna try to justify
we
what that is.
learned what day of the week the new shipment of cards came in, because I lived in a small town and the Magic stuff always sold out. You know, I don't mean to sound like an old geezer, but like back in my day, you couldn't just order on the internet.
Right.
You know, and they would always run out. And so it was Thursday. Thursday at like 2:00, FedEx or whatever would arrive with the new Magic cards, and we would be right there waiting for him to open the box so we could reach in and
Jesus.
get that rare card.
Anyways, today we learned Zeke and Bacon have been hustling since 4. Zeke, Co, anything you guys have been watching?
Shannon says, "Lol, nerds."
Exactly. There you go. Little nerds. Little nerds. Co or Zeke, anyone you've been watching in particular?
I have been spending almost every waking minute streaming the last 5 days. There's just too much good stuff to play.
That's true. It's true.
That's
You did a 24-hour stream. You haven't been watching anything.
did a 24-hour stream, and I was out of town for the weekend and stuff like that. I did catch some Sacriel. That's first time I actually, because I'll pop in and say like, hey, how's it going? You know, for like 10 minutes before I go somewhere. Like I do that. I do a lot of streams just to say like, hey, I watch you. You know, I'm a fan.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. But I actually had a chance to sit down for like a good solid like hour and a half, 2 hours, sit down and watch Sacriel play DayZ. And I've seen like that game but watching someone like that play it and interact with the chat was actually quite fun. And that's who I've been watching.
There you go. There you go. I think I just did something you're not supposed to do on Twitch, and that's restream a live stream. So we're going to take a break.
Before the cops get
Before
us.
the cops, Shannon's already in the chat. So
Shit, Shannon's here. No!
if the stream goes down, blame Shannon. Angry tweets and all that stuff. Get it going. No, we're going to take a break. We'll come back and talk a little bit about Nerd Fusion. That's why Bacon's here. Made the announcement last Friday, and I think there's a good discussion coming from it. So we'll take this break. We'll come back, and we'll do just that. Thanks, everyone, for watching Dropped Frames. We'll be right back with part 2 in just a little bit.